we were talking off the air about priorities and how you never know what a wrestler or already anybody's priorities are. But I always have the rule: I'm not going to pretend to understand the priorities of artists, which effectively a lot of wrestlers are, people with families, because you never know what the time consumption might be there, or millionaires and billionaires in many cases. I don't know what their priorities are either. You're back in WWE. How did you sort of weigh that priority list? Because people are immediately looking and saying, well, he's obviously got a child. He's got a school nearby. How did you sort of weigh those?
It was important to me, to be able to come back to this company. That was the first big question of whether or not that was a possibility. And once the possibility was a definite possibility, then it became about what is the best course of action to take going forward. Let's be honest. Let's be clear as day. I'm not going to tell you guys anything you don't already know. WWE is on fire across the board. The numbers have never been better. And I don't know all the numbers. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't know all the numbers, but what I do know of them is that we are smashing record after record. The attendance is going through the roof. The merchandise is off the charts. Like, that wheel that we talk about is spinning faster and stronger than ever. So to be able to come back into that and be a spoke on that wheel again and be able to contribute in any way that I can is massive. Once the opportunity came to come to NXT, I jumped all over it. And there's going to be people watching this right now that are saying, well, why wouldn't you want to go to Raw? Why wouldn't you want to go to SmackDown? Like, NXT is also killing it. I have been here for a couple weeks now, and I have seen talent that has blown me away. And what I love about that is that it takes me back to when I first started training, or it reminds me of my time here in the Performance Center, being in the spot that they're in right now, knowing where they're going to have the opportunity to possibly go, the things that they're going to go through. I'm able to help guide in that sense too, with my time here at the Performance Center. My responsibilities in WWE are a little more than just in the ring. And that is something that I don't take lightly. And that is something that I am massively interested in. At the end of the day, what it boiled down to after a conversation with my wife, I get to wake up every morning and see my son and play with him and do whatever I need to do. And then I get to be home in my bed every night, sleeping beside my wife. So in the middle of that, the in between that, if I get to go hang out and learn from the Shawn Michaels of our world, or the Matt Blooms, or like, I get to be a big kid in between those very important things. And I get to do that every day. Tell me how I made the wrong call. Tell me how I made a bad decision there, man.
So how does that first contact get made between you and WWE? And I'm intrigued, especially under this new regime, the process of hammering a deal out like that, because just 1 year ago, we were hearing about how nobody was getting hired. And now WWE's brought in yourself and Jade, Brian Pillman Jr., who's now Lexus King. Like, they're very clearly back in the fold of that. How did that sort of unravel?
I think it kind of goes back to the respect and the mutual respect and the contacts that I have made over the course of a pretty lengthy career. I had a few friends still that still work in WWE. I've kept in touch with them, all throughout the years, that when it started getting floated out there that I was leaving my previous stop, then it was more about, okay, well, what do you want to do next? And, did you want to come back? Did you want us to reach out? Do you want us to, everybody was kind of offering a helping hand, so to speak. Eventually what it boiled down to was me just having conversation with my wife and kind of weighing out what was best for us timing wise. I reached out, and thankfully there was a possibility there. And that's the thing. Like you said, a year ago, there's nothing happening. A year ago, no one's getting hired. This business, and probably better than anybody else, it changes almost daily. It is ever evolving. It moves fast. And when we're talking about the biggest company in the world, when we're talking about WWE, who is beyond at this point global, to the point we're talking WWE Universe, like it is a massive company. It is a massive, fast machine. So things are going to change, and business takes precedence. So if there's an opportunity or a star like a Cody Rhodes available, you're going to take him. If there's a star like Jade, you're going to take her. It's just good business. Even Lexis King, who you mentioned, like there's a big difference between the Lexis King now and Brian Pillman that you've seen before. A lot of it is just the big WWE machine that has a wonderful history of making superstars. So yeah, it came about rather quick and happily, quickly. So yeah, it's an ever-changing business, and you never know who's going to pop up when.